All right, we're picking up with A 6.1, simplifying radical expressions. Problem 1, the equation r equals the square root of a over pi gives the radius r of a circle with an area of a. What is the radius of a circle with an area of 32 meters squared? Okay, we're just going to substitute in our 32 for our a and then simplify our radical. Okay, let's see what that's going to look like. So r is equal to the square root of 32 over pi. We can't take the square root of 30 can't take the square root of pi, but and we can't leave it there. So how do we rationalize that denominator? We multiply by the square root of pi over pi. Remember, that's just 1 right there. And then when we get here, we're going to get the square root of 32 pi over the square root of pi squared, which is just pi. Okay, you recall how we were doing that? And then 32 is 16 times 2. Remember, that makes 16 the biggest perfect square that goes into 32. We can take the square root of the 16. It's 4. The 2 pi stays inside. And we get that 4 square root of 2 pi all over pi. And there you go, it's A. Okay, we look back here. Boom, there it is right there. Okay, so we can't leave the radical in the bottom, in the denominator. So we rationalize the denominator by multiplying the top and the bottom by the square root of basically 1. So we're not changing any values, we're just multiplying by 1. Multiply straight across. In the bottom you get the square root of pi squared, which is just pi. And then we simplify the top, the biggest perfect square going into 32. 16, you take it out, multiply it by anything that's out here, the 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Okay? Let's roll here, number 2. The formula for testing reaction time is approximately t equal to the square root of d over 196, where t is the reaction time in seconds, and d is the distance a yardstick falls in inches. So if Srini holds a yardstick above Tyler's head, and the yardstick falls 12 inches before Tyler catches it, there's your d. What is Tyler's reaction time? So we're looking for t. Okay? So I come down here. T is equal to the square root of the distance it fell, and it said that it fell 12 inches over the 196. Okay? Now you can take the square root of 196, it's 14. 4 is the biggest perfect square that goes into 12, 4 times 3. You take the square root of the 4, it's 2. The 3 stays in because it's not a perfect square. And then 2 goes into itself once, goes into 14 7 times. The square root of 3 over 7, and that's answer B. Okay, answer B. All right, come back over here. When Srini holds the yardstick above Cedric's head, it falls 9 inches before he catches it. What's his reaction time? Okay, well, let's come back over here. Same equation, only his only fell a distance of 9. I already told you 196, the square root is 14. We know the square root of 9 is 3/14. And you're probably going to want to write it just like that in those boxes. So you're going to get 3/14 or 3/14. Start here or finish here. Okay, but don't put it right in the middle. Problem 4. In order to know how much medicine to prescribe, a doctor may need to know a person's body surface area. The formula for finding a person's body surface area, A, in square meters is A equals the square root of h times w over 3,131, where h is your height in inches and weight in pounds. W is weight in pounds. Find the approximate body surface area if you're 5'9" and weigh 160. Okay, let me clear the screen here. Well, boom. Come back over here. So our formula, A equals h, and 5'9", 5 times 12 is 60, plus 9, that's 69 inches tall, and your weight here is given as 160 over the 3131. Okay? We multiply what's inside. 69 times 160 is 11,040. And yeah, I figured that out beforehand. 3131. So that's going to give us the square root. When you divide that in there, 3.53. You look at the answers, there's a 3.53, but we need the square root of it, okay, which is 1.88 meters squared when you round it up. So the answer there is C, okay, answer C. All right, I really hope this stuff is helping you. Spend the time on it. It can only make things better for you. A 6.2, add, subtract, multiply, and divide radical expressions, square roots and higher. Okay, so we're given this rectangle right here. Remember, adding and subtracting the radicals, you have to have the exact same radical part, the square root part. Okay, you could add these two because they're both square roots of 3's. If one was the square root of 2 and one was the square root of 3, you couldn't add or subtract them. When you multiply or divide, you multiply the numbers out front. So that would be 10, and you'd multiply what's inside, that'd be 9. Okay, and then you simplify. So let's see what they got for us here. Find the perimeter of the rectangle. Remember, perimeter is the sum of the sides. We've already done some perimeter problems. So we're going to add, they're all going to be square roots of 3. 5 square root of 3 up here, 2 square root of 3 over here. So we can just add up the numbers in front. 5 plus 2 is 7, plus 2 plus 5, that's another 7. That's 14 square root of 3. Answer's B. Okay. Problem 2. Find the area of the rectangle. Length times width. 2 times 5 is 10. 3 times 3 is 9. So if you look here, you're going to get the 10, 5 times the 2 times the square root of 9. The square root of 9 we know is 3. You're going to multiply it with the 10 when you take it out because that's 10 times that. 30. Okay. And when you come back over here, 30, boom, there it is, D. Okay. Problem 3, find the length of the diagonal. Right triangle, Pythagorean theorem. Your diagonal is C. It's opposite the right angle. Okay. So we're going to get, let me get rid of some of this. So we know Pythagorean theorem, a squared plus b squared equals c squared. So my a is 2 square root of 3. Whoops. And I'm going to square that. My b is 5 square root of 3. I'm going to square that, and that equals c squared. That's my diagonal. Well, 2 square root of 3 times 2 square root of 3, that's 2 times 2 is 4. Square root of 3 times the square root of 3 is 9. 5 times 5 is 25. Again, we're going to get 9 inside the radical. So right there we've got square root of 9 is 3. 3 times 4 is 12. Again, 3 times 25 is 75. So we got 87 is equal to c squared. We want the square root of that. For our c, the square root of 87 is answer C. Boom, right there. Okay. Notice they're all in radical form here, okay? There is no perfect square that goes into 87, so that's it. All right. If you saw a bunch of decimals here, then we would have actually square rooted it with our calculator. Same deal here. Find the length of the hypotenuse, another right triangle. Now the leg is 10 minus square root of, or square root of 10 minus square root of 2, and the other leg is square root of 10 plus the square root of 2. Square them both and add them up. Okay. So let's come over here. We're going to use the same formula. Pythagorean theorem is the Pythagorean theorem. So we're going to get the square root of 10 minus the square root of 2 squared. So that's going to look like this. Plus the square root of 10 plus the square root of 2 squared. That's going to look like this. Equals c squared. This is just FOIL. Square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is the square root of 100, which is 10. Square root of 10 times a minus, that's minus the square root of 20. Minus another square root of 20 here. And minus minus, that's going to give us a plus square root of 4, which is 2. So we've got 10 minus 2 square root of 20 plus 2. You can make that 12 right there if you want. Square root of 10 times the square root of 10 is the square root of 100, which is 10. Now we got plus the square root of 20 plus the square root of 20. That's plus 2 square roots of 20. And square root of 2 plus times the square root of 2 is the square root of 4, which is 2. Okay? So we've got 10 plus the 2 square root of 20 plus the 2. These two cancel, plus minus. 10 plus 2, 10 plus 2, 12 plus 12 is 24. That's equal to c squared. I'm going to square root both sides. This is 4 times 6. So square root of 4 is 2, so we get 2 square root of 6 is equal to our c. And 2 square root of 6 is d. Okay? Keep at it. You're doing good. We're almost finished with this. We just got a couple more sections. And then you'll have, everything. You'll be ready to go. Hopefully using this stuff at night to help you prepare.